The inheritance tax changes proposed by the Chancellor have catalysed a storm within the British farming sector, and Massey Ferguson, the people who make the wonderful tractors, a symbol of rural resilience, is publicly aligning with farmers in their discontent. I remember as a small boy, I used to drive a little red Massey Ferguson tractor. I ploughed a very straight furrow, and the French-based globally recognised tractor manufacturer emphasised the critical reality of supporting the agricultural backbone of the nation, highlighting that without prosperous farms, both the farming industry and the food supply are imperilled. And Lindsay Haddon, representing Massey Ferguson's UK operations, underscored that their success is symbiotically linked to the vitality of family farms, asserting the poignant reminder we all have to eat. No farms, no food. This backdrop of unrest sets the stage for Tuesday's planned protest in London, a demonstration expected to draw thousands of farmers on tractors who feel betrayed by the government's fiscal manoeuvring and the imposition of a 20% inheritance tax on farms valued at over £1 million, a threshold critics argue is far too low in the context of agricultural assets, threatens not only individual families but the broader food security of the UK. And this policy, which disrupts the generational passage of land from one parent to their children, has sparked fears of farm fragmentation and diminished long-term investment in sustainable food production. The Transport Secretary, why can't you actually reel out the person responsible for farming? Anyway, the Transport Secretary wheeled out this morning, Louise Haigh, has indicated that the government has prepared contingency plans to safeguard the food supply should farmers escalate their protest to a strike that halts production and demonstrates what it would be like to live in the UK without farming. And despite reassurances, her statements underscore the seriousness of the farmers' intention. Haig's admission hints at a scenario reminiscent of the early COVID-19 pandemic, marked by stockpiling and strained supermarket shelves, a prospect likely to unsettle the public. Legal measures have also been outlined to curtail potential disruptions. Tractors will be barred from road blockages, underscoring the government's determination to maintain order and avert economic paralysis. Nonetheless, the spectre of thousands of rural voices united in discontent illustrates the seismic cultural and economic implications of this policy. Jeremy Clarkson's social media condemnation of the tax encapsulates the palpable fury within the farming community, echoing fears that the very fabric of rural England is at risk. The National Farmers Union President Tom Bradshaw has publicly distanced himself from extreme measures like withholding food, citing the ethical implications that would echo the difficulties witnessed during the pandemic. Yet Bradshaw's impassioned plea for dialogue signals that the government's path forward, no change, must tread delicately between fiscal necessity and safeguarding the heritage of British agriculture. As farmers rally in the capital on Tuesday, the resonance of their message will test not only political resolve but also the essence of how British values are on display, how Britain is dependent on, British beef, British farming is the hallmark of our national identity, and sustaining that is an imperative.